The 80-20 rule, also known as the Pareto principle, states that 80% of the output in any given situation is the result of just 20% of the inputs. It's named after an Italian polymath, Vilfredo Pareto, who's credited with helping to transform economics into a scientific rather than purely philosophical discipline. In the 100 years since its invention, the principle has become hugely influential in the way we understand all types of economy and how we measure value. It's been applied to a variety of situations in life and business, whether the unit of measurement is time, commodities, or people. A whole industry of consultants and coaches now help their clients identify the vital few, the more productive 20%, so that effort and cost is not expended on the less productive, trivial many. By tradition, Pareto is said to have invented the principle after noticing that 20% of the pea pods in his garden produced 80% of the peas. In telling the parable of the sower, Jesus isn't as specific about quantities, but it seems reasonable to assume that most of the seed didn't flourish. However, a minority of seed does produce an amazing yield, sometimes 100-fold return, sometimes 60, sometimes 30. At one level, then, the parable seems to be the precursor of Pareto's principle. A few seeds generate an astonishing harvest. But this doesn't sound like good news for all. The disciples are confused and ask what the parable means. Jesus explains that understanding the parable of the sower means coming to terms with the new economics of the kingdom. God knows that some of the seed will fall on rocky ground or will be eaten by birds, but the important point is that the sower keeps on sowing, so that all have the possibility to hear the good news. Jesus didn't come to offer life hacks or quick wins. He doesn't privilege the vital few over the trivial many. All become vital in his kingdom, whose economics are based not on productivity, but possibility. In the parable of the sower, Jesus encourages us to look at the world not through a lens of deficit, but from a perspective of plenty. This doesn't mean turning away from the reality of the fallen world around us, a world where the trivial many are so often overlooked in favour of the vital few. But it does mean turning towards the divine reality that the saving grace of God is poured out continually for all, as thankful recipients of which our task is to share it, and to witness the new possibilities that emerge as that amazing grace multiplies 30, 60, 100 times.